Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another Sunday meal prep video. I am actually getting a very late start today. It is actually almost 3 o'clock, but I promised myself that on the weekends I was going to make sure to go for long walks in the morning, get my steps in, and just start the day right. So that's why I got a late start. So it's a late start for a good reason. On the meal plan this week for breakfast prep, I am planning on doing turkey sausage breakfast bowls. And then for lunch prep, I'm doing buffalo chicken meatballs with ranch cauliflower. And then I'm also gonna be prepping my dinners, putting them into dinner kits for the week. So if you are new to my channel, I currently follow the WW Blue program, but I do provide the points for all 3 programs on my channel. And also if you're not even on any type of weight loss program, you can still get some great ideas for recipes, for prepping ideas and things like that. So I hope that you'll consider subscribing to my channel. And if y'all wanna see how I meal prep breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks for my husband and I for the week, then stay with me. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Christy and I am Planning Us Healthy. Alright, so starting with breakfast, I'm actually making turkey sausage breakfast bowls. On my website, I do have a recipe for chicken sausage breakfast bowls, and I think you can see right there what they look like. These are with the links, the little links of the chicken sausage, but I'm not using those. Today, I'm going to be using these Great Value turkey breakfast turkey patties. This is what they look like. They're pretty big size, so I'm going to use 5 of those and cut them up and put it into the 6 dishes. So using the turkey sausage, it's going to be 5 points on blue, 2 points on purple, and 9 points on green. If you decide that you want to use the chicken sausage, it's just the Never Any, I use the Never Any country style chicken breakfast sausage, and that comes out to 4 points on blue, 1 point on purple, and 8 points on green. The other things that go in this, I'm using 12 eggs and also 2 cans of sliced white potatoes. You can use the whole potatoes and cut them up. I actually just chop them up into small bite-sized pieces anyway. The other thing I have is 1/4 cup of water that I've mixed in with the eggs. So I'm just going to get all of these cooking on the stove. I'm actually going to cook these in the microwave. I'm just going to wrap them in paper towels. These are fully cooked. So I'm just going to wrap them in a paper towel. I'll probably do maybe 2 at a time and just do it for like up to a minute, and I'll flip them halfway. So I will get all that started. Alright, and all I do for the potatoes, I have the pan sprayed with olive oil spray, and I just put some pepper and garlic salt in there. Alright, I'm just going to let those cook, and I've got my eggs over here too that I am getting started as well. Take the eggs off because they are pretty much almost done. They will continue cooking a little bit more in the pan. I'm gonna cut up the turkey sausage into bite-sized pieces now, and I think I'm gonna toss it in with the potatoes. Just kind of get it a little bit of a brown. Okay, so now that everything's done, we're gonna put our one of my red bowls. If you're new, I always use my red bowls. So I have it set to grams. I'm gonna weigh everything out. Now, sometimes I will weigh out the potatoes separate, and then I put them in the dish because I'm on blue, so my eggs are 0. I am just gonna keep it simple. I'm gonna weigh everything and just divide that into 6. So I have the scale tared out, but I also write on the bottom of these how much these weigh. That way, if for some reason I forget to tear it out first, then I can always just subtract that from the amount. So I'm gonna just pour everything in there. All right, so 1324. So divided by 6, 25, it's gonna go up. It's gonna be about 220 in each dish. So I'm just gonna mix this all up and then put it into the bowls. And there we go. So breakfast is done. And then I will just cover these, put them in the fridge, and then throughout the week, we'll just take one out, reheat it in the microwave for maybe about a minute. What I'll probably do is do it in 30-second increments and then just stir it up in between. So I'm gonna set those aside and let those cool and move on to lunch. Okay everyone, so I'm moving on to lunch now. So lunch is blue cheese buffalo meatballs. The recipe that is on my website is actually using ground turkey breast or ground beef. That's where the points come from. I'm actually gonna make them this time with ground chicken breast. I've never had them with the ground chicken breast, so I'm anxious to try it. I usually use the ground turkey breast. The recipe on my website does have the points for the ground beef or using the ground turkey breast, which would also be the same as the chicken breast. So for the way I'm making them, these are gonna be 3 points on blue and purple and 5 points on green. If you use the 96% lean ground beef, then it would be 7 points on all programs. So the recipe on my website is actually for 2 portions. I'm gonna be making 6 portions, so I'm gonna be multiplying that by 3. So I'm gonna give you the ingredients for the 6 portions. So what I have is 36 ounces of ground chicken breast, which I actually only had 2 pounds, which is 32. So I had some ground turkey in my freezer, so I just used 4 ounces of that and added it to it. But for purposes of the points, 36 ounces of the ground chicken breast. You could probably even leave out that other 4 ounces. It's just the way that the recipe came out when I originally made it. To that, I'm gonna add the white portions of green onions. I have here 6 green onions that I just cut the white portions off and just kind of minced it up. I'm gonna put that in there. I also have 3 ounces of blue cheese crumbles, and I basically took a fork and just kind of really chopped it up to make it even smaller. So just make sure to get it all out of there. And then I'm gonna add some pepper and some salt, just a little bit of salt. And then the other ingredients that we're gonna need for later, not right now, is 3 tablespoons of light butter and 3 ounces of Frank's Red Hot sauce. The amount you use is completely up to you. It's based on how you like the heat. If you don't like heat at all, you definitely don't even need to use any of the hot sauce. We like it hot, so we use the full 3 ounces, but you can just try it and taste it to your liking. So we're gonna mix those at the end when everything's done. So now what I'm gonna do is mix this all together, and I'm going to put it into 48 mini meatballs. Also, this recipe is normally something I do on my stove. I just cook them in a skillet, but because I have so many, I'm gonna do them in the oven. So I'm just gonna use this pan. I have the aluminum foil sprayed with cooking spray. I have my oven preheated to 400 degrees, and I'm just gonna bake them in the oven for maybe about 20 minutes. So I'm gonna get these mixed up and get them on the tray. Weigh it all out, and we're gonna have meatballs that are 22 grams. So that's gonna be the size of them. So I'm gonna just get these all rolled up. Okay, so I have my meatballs all out. Now, I actually started weighing them out. Usually that's what I do when I only have enough for 2 people, for 2 portions. This would have been entirely too hard for me to try and weigh and roll these out. They were really sticky. I did the best I could to just kind of make sure they're about the same size. So I have 48 meatballs. I'm going to put them in the oven. My oven is preheated to 400 degrees, and I'm going to put them in for about 20 minutes. And I'm probably going to flip them halfway. I'm going to take a look at them and see what they look like. So in the meantime, when the meatballs are going, I'm also going to be cooking some broccoli and cauliflower. So in my meal plan, I said that I was going to be doing ranch cauliflower. I'm trying to show you that I have cauliflower down in the bottom here. I planned on doing ranch cauliflower with this, but I decided to throw some broccoli with it too, and I will have cauliflower and broccoli. And we'll just drizzle the ranch seasoning over the top. For this recipe, I usually just roast this in the oven, but I decided to just steam it in the Instant Pot. So I'm just going to put the steamer basket in the Instant Pot. I'm going to put about a cup of water in it, and I'm just going to cook it on high pressure. I'm going to set it for 1 minute and then do a quick release at the end. So now I'm going to put together the topping for the vegetables, and the other thing that I have that I haven't shown yet is the rest of my green onion. I have that all cut up, and I'm just going to end up putting those over the top of the meatballs. So now I want 1 ounce of light sour cream, and we're going to mix that with a ½ teaspoon of ranch seasoning. And then this is going to be 2 points. Now my husband likes double the amount, so his is more than 2 points. So for mine, I'm just going to be using that, and then his, I will put double the amount in there. And in case anybody's wondering, these little containers I get at the Dollar Tree. You get like 10 of them for $1. So it's been about 10 minutes for the meatballs. I just flipped them over, and so as you can see, they really don't kind of look like actual balls, but that'll work. So I just flipped them over, and I'm going to put them back in for another 10 minutes. I know, I honestly, I may just put them in for 5 because they are cooking real quick. So just keep an eye on them. All ovens are different. These look like they're going to be done in probably about 5 minutes. Okay, so we're back. I actually took a break. We just took a little break and ate dinner. So now what I'm going to do is I want to melt the butter and the hot sauce. So normally when I would cook this in the pan, I would at this point just take the meatballs off the burner and then add the butter and mix it all around. I just heated up that burner a little bit, and now I'm just going to transfer the meatballs into the butter. So get that butter all coated, and then add your hot sauce. Like I said, how much hot sauce you add, it just depends on how you like it. And then just kind of coat it all over it. And then I'm going to let it sit for a little bit. Usually when you let it sit for a little bit, it kind of soaks it right into the chicken. Okay, I'm going to let that sit. So you still got some here that don't have any on it. Let that sit a little bit, and then we will portion everything into the dishes. So in each container is going to be 8 meatballs, and then I'm just going to put some of the broccoli and cauliflower in there. And the last thing that'll go in there will be the sauce for the broccoli cauliflower. And then just put some of the green onion right over the top. That's it. So 5 points on blue and purple and 7 points on green. So now I'm just going to go through and put the rest of them together. So now I'm going to move on to prepping the dinner meal kits. So it's time to prep the dinner kits. So if you're new to my channel, I basically just do dinner kits. I don't cook everything like I do the breakfast and lunch. I'm just portioning everything out and putting it into bags. I use reusable silicone bags. I will link them down in the description box below. Pretty much anything that I use, like my scale, my knife set, my bags, my meal prep containers, anything like that, I try to go along, and when I'm editing, I try and write it down so that I can include a direct link to it down in the description box below. If for some reason I forget to include it down there, I will also have a link to my Amazon shop, so you can go through and find anything there as well. And also, all the recipes that you see in this meal prep, I will link those down in the description box as well. So I will say, if at this point you are getting some value out of this video, please do me a favor, give this video a thumbs up, and make sure to put any comments down below. Alright, so what I do is just mark my bags. I actually have had a lot of questions about this. I use permanent marker on these. You can kind of see where, I don't know if you can really see it, but there's like faded parts from where I've used it before. But this is permanent marker, and it washes off pretty well if I hold it right against the side of the sink and use a scrub brush with soap and hot water. It comes off pretty good. But I would say probably a dry erase marker might work a little bit better. They say to get it off, you can also use rubbing alcohol. I actually haven't used that. I haven't really found the need to, because I think I can get them pretty clean myself. So all I'm doing is putting everything in the kit that we're going to use to make it that night. So Monday night, I'm going to do feta and herb crusted salmon with rice and asparagus. I'm not going to put the rice in here because I'm just using the 90-second ready rice, so I won't be putting that in the bag. And then I'm going to have asparagus, and I think I'm going to throw in some broccoli as well. Even though I'm having broccoli for lunch, I can never have too much broccoli. So I also write the points on the bag. This is going to be 3 points for blue and purple and 4 points for green. Okay, I had to move my camera down. Wasn't really getting the table. So I'm just going to put everything in the bottom. So I have the asparagus, and I've actually cut off the ends already. So I'll put that in there. But as far as washing it, I just do that the night that we have it. And I'm going to throw some broccoli down in there. Alright, then I'm going to add my salmon. I have about 12 ounces of salmon. And then the topping for the salmon. So in here I have 1 ounce of fat-free feta crumbles. It calls for dill sprig, but I'm going to use just dill weed. I didn't have any dill sprig. This is actually a Home Chef recipe. And then I have 2 garlic cloves, some parsley, and a lemon. Alright, so that's it. That's all I do. And then I just put the kit in my fridge and pull it out the night that I'm going to make it. So I'm going to put that one away and move on to the next one. For the next night, we're doing turkey tenderloin with squash and zucchini lime crema. This is 2 points on blue and purple. For green, I have a question mark because it's 2 points for the lime crema, and then you'll have to count however much turkey tenderloin you have. So I am actually going to be using just some turkey breast tenderloins that I got from Aldi. These are the ones that are not cooked yet. And this is actually 24 ounces, but I only need 12 ounces. But because this is still frozen, I'm going to just put the whole thing in there. And then what I'll do is I'm going to just make enough for 2 nights. So we actually planned, that's not going to fit in like that. We actually planned on subs one night, so I think I will just have this 2 nights. So what I'm going to put in for this is 1 squash, 2 zucchini, a lime, 2 ounces of light sour cream, and then the turkey tenderloin, which is not really going to quite fit. And all I'm gonna be doing with the turkey tenderloin is brushing it with mustard and putting it in the oven. That's it. So like I said, I will do that for 2 nights. So that's it for that one. And finally, the last one I'm going to do is skillet pork and peppers with Brussels sprouts. The Brussels sprouts I'm using are frozen Brussels sprouts, so I won't be putting those in the bag. This is actually a recipe that I got off of Slender Kitchen. I recently found her website, and I've really been enjoying some of her recipes. So this is going to come out to 5 points for 6 ounces of pork, and that's going to be 5 points on all programs. So I have 10 ounces of pork tenderloin, so I'm actually just going to be using 5 ounces each. I don't think I mentioned, when I do my dinner kits, I usually just put enough in there for 2 for my husband and I. And then, except you saw the tenderloin, I'll do that 2 nights. So if you have a family of 4 or a family, you know, you can adjust that. For this one, it's basically a bunch of vegetables. So I have an onion, I have an orange pepper and a red pepper. I have a tablespoon of tomato paste, and I just use this tomato paste like this. I get it like this because it's just a lot easier to use than buying the cans. That way, if I only need, like in this case, a tablespoon, then that's what I can get. I get this at my local Publix has this. Also, another thing is I had mentioned in a previous video that if I'm out of tomato sauce, I will use tomato paste to make sauce, and somebody asked me how you do that. So it's just 1 part tomato paste to 1 part water. Now with this recipe, the recipe that she has actually calls for, it makes 4, and I'm only going to be making 2. So I'm only going to actually need half of each pepper. I'm probably, you know what I think I'll do? I'm just going to use the red one in that case. But normally what I would do is still just put the whole thing in there, like the onion. I'm not going to use the whole onion, but I'm not going to cut it apart right now. The next thing I have is 2 cloves of garlic. And it also calls for 1 cup of chicken broth. So I'm just going to put a chicken bouillon cube in there. And then also I'm putting in 1/8 of a cup of banana peppers and 1/8 of a cup of Parmesan cheese. And then my turkey tenderloin, and that kit is done. Super easy. That is it. So for my snacks this week, I just have some fruit. I'm going to be doing apples and PB2. I just realized my broom was laying on the floor in the back. The dogs must have knocked it down. So I have a huge thing of blueberries that I'm going to be using for snacks for the week. So for the apples and PB2, I just put the powder in here. I got this idea from my good friend Carrie over at Carrie's Priceless WW Journey. And it is so good. You can actually have 2 tablespoons of PB2 for 1 point. So I'm just going to measure 2 tablespoons. And I'm just going to end up reusing this bag. This is another reusable bag, but I'm just going to do 1 day at a time with this. So that's in there. I'll cut up my apple the day that I have it and put it in there. And then on the other days, I'll just wash out this bag and reuse it. Okay, so I'm going to get everything out and show you what we ended up with. Okay, so I didn't do a close-up of the spread. Usually I go through and do a close-up, but I had already showed you the close-up when I was making them. Usually when I'm portioning everything out, I put it on the table, and that's why I do that spread at the end. But since you saw it, there's no reason for me to go through and do that again. So the breakfast, again, I'll go over the points. The breakfasts are 5 points on blue, 2 points on purple, and 9 points on green. The buffalo chicken meatballs are 3 points on blue and purple, and 5 points on green, and then the ranch cauliflower is 2 points. And then we have our dinner kits. I have my apples, my PB2, our 2-point puddings. I have some blueberries that I just portioned into mason jars, and that's it. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Again, if you haven't already, make sure to give it a thumbs up. So now I am way behind on water, so I need to go catch up on some water. I need to go take another walk because I'm doing great with my steps, and I am on a Fitbit challenge this weekend, so I need to get my steps in. So thank you all so much for watching. If you're new, I hope you'll subscribe to my channel. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and also click the notification bell. That's what notifies you anytime I upload new content. I'll talk to y'all in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Christy, and I'm planning us healthy.